In this video, I just want to show you how to access your More account using a Windows machine. So More is a server run by the Computing and Software Department. It's a Linux server, and all students have accounts on there. And when you use SSH to log into your account, you're given access to a bash shell, where you can then practice any bash shell commands and run different programs we're going to use in the course, even if you're on a Windows machine. This is basically a place to test things out. So if you click this link here underneath More Server, underneath resources in our course shell, this link is also in the lecture 2 slides and in the lab 2 slides or the week 2 lab slides. But if you just click this link here, it opens up this page here, and you just type in your Mac ID. So the same thing you'd use for your email or your Mosaic account. And you just type in your Mac ID and your Mac ID password. And after you do that, it'll pop up with this text here saying that your password has been changed to match your Mac ID password. And at this point, your More account has been set up. Now, to access SSH from a Windows machine, I'm using Windows 10 and I'm able to access SSH right from the command line. You can also use PuTTY to access a SSH tool with Windows. And I'll just show you both ways, because I think maybe if you're on an older version of Windows, you might not have SSH right in the command line. So I'll just show you both ways. So if you go down here to type here to search and type in CMD, that'll bring up the Windows command prompt, which is basically the Windows terminal. So you type in CMD there, go to command prompt. It'll pop up with this tool here. And SSH is now available. So you can then say SSH, put in your Mac ID, and then put in @more.mcmaster.ca. So SSH, your Mac ID @more.mcmaster.ca, hit enter, type in your password, and then you have access to this little bash shell here, where you can test out your commands, and you've got your own little space there on this server here. So that's one way to do it. Now the other way to do it is with PuTTY. So the other way to do it is with PuTTY. So PuTTY is available if you go to resources here on the Avenue course shell. PuTTY is this link here. Click on that. Click here to download it. You can just get the 32-bit installer. It's not going to make a difference for what we're doing, and 32-bit should work on really any Windows machine. But just download that installer there, and then run that. And it shouldn't take too long to install. But just run through this installer here. It'll install. I'll say yes. Finish. And then I'll run PuTTY. So I'll go down here and say PuTTY to run PuTTY. And then now I'm just running PuTTY. So this is PuTTY. And where it says host name here, I can't really make this larger, but it says host name here. That's where you put in more.mcmaster.ca. And you say open. And then it'll say login as, and you put in your username, and then you put in your password. I'm going to see if I can make this terminal any bigger. Change settings. What do we got here? Appearance. Change the font. I'm just going to make it a little bigger. I'm just showing you this just in case you want to do it too. But let's just make it bigger here. Okay. Apply. So now it's nice and big. So I'll just say login as, put in your Mac ID, put in your password. I might have made a mistake there. Whoops. All right. Put in my password. All right. And then I've got, access to that server again with my account there. And I've got a bash shell where I can run bash shell commands and test them out. And so you can use this as a way to do the first assignment, and you'll also be using More throughout the course to run different programs there, like our C compiler and so forth. So anyways, this is how you access it on a Windows machine.